Yeah, no, I thought we were talking here.
As far as I can tell, definitely.
Yeah, I was like, I just gotta get that to work.
Yeah, bro.
No, it's
Oh,
practically
Yeah.
it should work.
It's just the angle, but
So yeah, that's what happened. They said they told Abdi to get it done. No answer. So I just called Nathan. At least he picked up. He said, "Okay, I'll get it to you in 2 minutes." So.
Okay. So that's good. Looks good. Okay.
I'm hoping this
Actually,
year
you can
happens
use
again.
the
Or at the very least, I hope they can at least teach me how to
Oh,
use these
so I'll
things.
sign it.
show the whole thing.
It's only showing my screen, not that one. So I'll just do it. But yeah, that's good.
It's honestly
It's backwards.
It's a mix
So
of
that
like
one actually
those
was
permissions, like us as admins have no permission to do it down. We all as
Right.
admins don't like these weird third
You
party
should flex
places.
that you know first, I think.
Yeah, I know, but the button is actually
Because yeah, if they just gave me the chance to step up, I would do it for literally everything.
Like we could build IT club meetings, like the accountability thing just through Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. And it's all in one place. It's all done in one place. Yeah.
or Microsoft Form, but
Yeah, wherever.
because we already have Exchange on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
So if you're using the clicker,
Yeah.
it's backwards. So the bottom actually goes forward.
Whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, everything else looks good.
Okay. You start talking, whatever.
May as well.
Okay.
And hopefully Nathan will get back to us soon.
Whatever. Welcome everybody to our ISSessions meeting.
Hello, hackers. Today will be a bit of a short session. So it's been really busy. A lot of people are really tired. A bunch of the people that generally do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work to make this happen are unfortunately unavailable today. So me and Wyatt, together, we're going to try and make the most of it. We're going to at least present the news today. Maybe we'll do a little bit of networking. We'll talk a little bit afterwards. Maybe do a bit of a Q&A about everything going on. And it'll just be a shorter session. Very sorry it's come out of this. We're working on getting the CCR form in and ready to go, so at least you'll be awarded your CCR credits. So, without further ado, we'll get started.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay. Well, starting soon. Yeah. Okay, so I got two articles. One I'm a little bit more prepared for. The other one we're gonna wing it. You know, that's how we're doing things tonight. This one is pretty interesting to me personally because it's one of the reasons why I got into cybersecurity. There was a small group of people who decided to go and attack a couple of facilities. They weren't doing this for money. They weren't doing this for clout because their name's not out there in the article I read. They were just doing it to have fun. Hey, okay, why not? As long as they didn't hurt anybody. Unfortunately, or fortunately really, they got caught. What they were doing, they were attacking a water facility plant, they were attacking some oil and gas plants, and they attacked a couple of farms, it seemed like. And what they were doing, they were just attacking different Internet of Things devices, because all of these places that are out there, all of these facilities, they have tons of Internet of Things, IoT devices, to make it easy to go and connect to go and adjust things, so somebody doesn't have to be on site. It's expensive to pay people. But unfortunately, they're not secure. They're just there. They're connected to the internet. Anybody can get to them. This attack showed that. And so many places out there, all facility-wise, have lots of little readings, and this can be a very big thing for us to be aware of, you know. What else do I got? Yeah. They're just usually fragile and they're left exposed. It's an issue we can come in hopefully and be able to go and remedy that. You guys know a lot more than I do right now in this field and know different ways to go and keep those separated from online access. Yeah. I think really this is a huge problem that we're going to continue to see. it's bad when a water facility goes and starts putting extra chlorine into the water and makes the water poisonous. That's happened before. Luckily, people are there and can go and catch those things, but sometimes it'll be where they can't catch those things. The oil and gas one, that can be pretty bad if like tanks are saying, oh, there's nothing in there, then they keep filling it up, then it overflows, etc. Bad stuff. Farm stuff, I had no idea that we had humidity and temperature targeting devices in these silos, and if those get out of whack for too long, then all of the food that's in that silo goes bad, and that's lots of money down the drain. That's lots of issues. Yeah, I love these things just because this is why I got into like cybersecurity, because I had heard several reports about how in the States there's just tons of this stuff everywhere. Lots of water purification plants, lots of waste purification plants, lots of, you name it, it's out there. And it's just all unsecure. It's an issue. But hey, as we're getting better, some of us might start companies and focus on fixing these issues, then the average person that's living doesn't have to worry about this stuff going forward. Thank you. The next topic I got was very interesting to read through, and holy moly, did I barely get an understanding of this. This was a very sophisticated attack. This group that's based around through Russia called the Curly Comrades, they had over a week or so inserted a virtual machine into multiple Windows computers in a way that the traffic was barely detected. As you can see, it was using a very bare bones Linux version, and it basically just had a reverse shell and a reverse VPN on it. And that's all that Linux machine was. So all the traffic that was coming out of this computer made it seem like it was from that computer, which is perfectly normal, but unfortunately it wasn't here. And then they were able to figure this out, and they were able to figure out, oh, hey, this isn't good, this isn't going on. And it took them a week to go and insert this on different machines. And it's wild. I didn't know this was a thing that could happen. But that small Linux device is able to completely compromise the Microsoft Windows environment. And then just from there, they were able to do anything they wanted, and it made it seem like it was all the hosts doing it. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yep.
Water treatment. It only takes about 3% sodium hypochlorite solution at concentration to kill viruses and bacteria, right? But to make it safe, right, just to ensure that you kill all these pathogens, about threefold, about 10% sodium hypochlorite solution, nuclear dilution, still needs to touch the application. So look at all the formula that you have. You need its active ingredient. It's really sodium hypochlorite, and just plugging those equations and the appropriate amount of water, and that's your disinfectant solution. So if you ever run out of disinfectant, like you have COVID-19, COVID-20, March 12, 2020, March 13, 2020, you have government in Canada announcing the emergency. Then March 14th, everything shut down, most of essential services. Then you have the poison. Hey, I don't have the chloride pumps. I don't have the Lysol. Lysol, bad term. It's lysine solution, sort of like 1904, 1905. It means to have a cell burst in lysis. What a great term, Lysol. It actually tells you the problem is to burst the cell. Why am I pointing this out? Because 10%, it's not going to kill you. But if you keep increasing the amount of sodium chloride that's being released into the water system, it's going to become toxic to the system, or it's going to cause problems. But,
Yeah. And I mean, also, there's always that running joke that the S in IoT stands for security, right? There's no security in these devices. So it's one of these things that by design, these things are intended to be used by professionals. but someone who isn't a professional, if they are just an activist, or maybe they are actually trying to inflict harm on someone, these devices still need to be secured. And if it's not done by design, then we have to be layering our defenses on top of that, and being conscious of the fact that even for physical security options over here, we need to actually lock these devices up physically. You see those signs by the highway whenever there's construction, ones that light up. You know, those things, it's just a little keyboard at the bottom of them. You can go walk up and change it. But yeah, we need to be locking these things down. So yeah, thank you for that. All right. So next article I wanted to talk about. This came out a few days ago. There are a couple security firms. These are consultancies. Digital Mint and Signia. 3 of their employees were actually caught being ransomware distributors or actors of some sort. And what's really funny is that all 3 of these employees were actually working as negotiators. So if a company is hit by a ransomware attack, then they will come step in, maybe try and negotiate with the attackers to get some data back or bring the ransom amount down back or something like that. So it's really ironic. Unfortunately, Digital Mint and Signia, they were both completely unaware that this was happening. So they're trying to comply as much as they can with law enforcement as well. But yeah, these employees, back in 2023, they were conducting ransomware attacks, and they were actually breaking into corporate networks to unleash ransomware. They did this by hand directly. They didn't use any weird, like, automated tooling or anything. But one of the things that you can kind of take away from this is that maybe there's this new era of insider threat coming out. We're very much concerned about, like, our own employees and having proper authorization and authentication for our organizations. But what happens when a third-party privileged consultant comes in to try and solve some kind of issue? Then that is also a liability. That's a risk that we need to take care of as well. All right. Next, NVIDIA privilege escalation. This article came out last night, I believe, maybe like 10 p.m. or something. There was this advisory by NVIDIA for this. And it's nothing new. It's actually the 4th one in the last few months. So in July, there was an issue with NVIDIA's containerization services. So it was affecting cloud and machine learning data centers. In August, there was an issue with their installer files. I think they were executing code in some privileged execution state. In October, there was a problem with the NVIDIA application, the one you use to, like, configure all your game settings and overclocking and things like that. And this one that just came out hours ago, it is with the driver themselves. So this is quite literally at the system level, hardware level. It's been awarded a really high CVSS score, 8.2. It's been assigned its own CVE for this problem as well, so we know about it. There are patches available for it, and NVIDIA knows about it. They're fully disclosing it. They're very transparent. But it raises a bit of an interesting discussion that this is just a local privilege escalation bug. And yes, local privilege escalation is bad. If you're ever running a CTF or something, you get your user account, you want to get your root account, you're going to use privilege escalation. But it requires some kind of initial compromise already for it to actually be relevant. So the discussion that it kind of brings up is, does this bug actually affect you in the context of your threat model? What exactly is your threat model? Are you expecting to already be compromised? Are you already running, like, lower privileged user accounts on your computer, for instance? If you have a personal computer, you probably are. You just have an administrator account and that's it. So perhaps it wouldn't really do a whole lot. Obviously, you probably still should patch this, but it's one of these things where I feel like giving it such a high score, it kind of creates a lot of hype around the actual issue itself. And while it's important to be on the lookout for these kinds of bugs, it might not always be as critical as it sounds. And the last article I found, this one was posted, I believe, a day or two ago. It is about AI-generated malware. So Google has their own security team. They analyze malware samples. And they have found 5 samples which have been generated by AI, or they're using AI in some way to conduct a malicious attack. One of these samples, specifically prompt lock, it is actually created by an educational institution. They wanted to do this, they put in these very clear limitations, these kind of safeguards, to ensure that the malware wasn't going to be too dangerous should it leak out or anything like that. But they designed it to see how far they could get with AI-generated malware, or AI-assisted malware. And they did find some success with this. But what Google found when they were analyzing these samples is that these samples aren't really doing anything super new. They haven't created some breakthrough capability that is completely disrupting the malware development industry, if you will. What AI is doing, it's enabling the existing malware developers. Perhaps they can write a piece of code a lot faster. It might be helping to teach the new generation. I mean, for instance, all of us in this room are studying cybersecurity in some capacity. We're probably using AI for our own studies in some capacity as well. And it is, in fact, teaching us if we use it correctly. But what AI isn't doing, it's not creating these fully autonomous solutions. It's not this crazy self-replicating, it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing that's super worth the hype. All of these samples were very easy to detect. They were easy to analyze. They really just looked like standard malware. So maybe we're a few years out still before we have to start worrying about these threats in a very serious capacity. But it's something to keep on our eyes on as it's on the horizon right now. And that is about it. Right now, we don't have middle segments, so we're just going to move straight into the CCR. Oh, and we are actually going to have to reload. That is not the correct code. So, yeah, you can do this. I am going to go post the response. It's live.
Yeah, that's really much. I know.